Why, hello, my beautiful souls. So today is Monday. Happy first day of the week. I want to pull some cards because I haven't done this in a very, very long time, and I feel like we all could benefit from a little bit of a general reading, right? Just a general, hey, what's going on? I pulled these out. I kid you guys not. I'm in love with this deck. It is a fun little deck that I got off the TikTok shop, and it's really good. I've used it in a couple sessions. It will call you out though. It will legit call you out. So I'm like, well, let's pull these guys out. And then of course this deck always wants to come out. She loves to be used. She loves being on attention, like loves it. I don't know if it's because I got this deck in Sedona that she likes to be used so much or what it is, but I don't know what's going on up there. So I have like a background music going. But anywhoosies, this deck is very, very beautiful. I like this deck very much. So today is Monday, the 22nd. We're just going to do a little quick reading to see what kind of energies we can expect. We just had the summer solstice yesterday, so I feel like we have a little bit of a change. If you felt that summer solstice, maybe you didn't have a good night's sleep last night. Hint the why we are wearing glasses today and not contacts, right? Because things might have been going through our mind. Maybe we had racing thoughts. Maybe we kept imagining the worst case scenario. Maybe we got mad at ourselves for something. So a lot of shadow work was happening last night as well. There was a lot of manifesting that could be seen with all the energies at play. But then there was also, like I said, I felt a lot of shadow work. I did shadow work unknowingly while I was sleeping, and then again when I woke up I started journaling and doing shadow work because I was like, ooh, hello. It brought up some things that I was like, let's work on that. So if you didn't get sleep last night after the summer solstice, that might be why. It also depends on what you kind of maybe did. So if you were somebody that you really got into the summer solstice, you really got into the activities, maybe your energy was kind of, you know, all over the place, or maybe it was like, whoo. I did like a sunshine shower. So one of the cool things about living in a camper is you have a roof sunlight, right? Like the roof, what do they call it? Roof window, whatever, but it's like a skylight. There we go. Where, you know, the sun can come in, but you can't see out. Like it's anyways, but it lets in a lot of sunlight, and I love that when I take a shower. So I take what's called sun showers a lot, and so that's just where I'm calling down that sun energy as I'm washing my body as well. It's a really cool thing to try. If you have that advantage, I would totally take advantage of it. Like if you can do something like that, or if you're somebody that has a window into your shower, you can call that sun energy in as well. And what it does is it helps you like just get energized, feel that sun powerful energy. I also have a plant in my shower that's doing a whole lot better than that poor guy over there. He's coming back though. He's making a comeback, but I connected to my plant. I redid my ancestral altar because it was ready. And it was funny because it was Father's Day also, so my dad's picture is like the main picture on my ancestral altar because obviously he's one of my ancestors on the other side. And so I did that, and then I just worked with a lot of plant energy, sun energy. My daughter and I danced. So maybe you had a little bit of a high, but your nervous system was kind of working some things out as well. So let's start with this deck because you know what? I really and truly do love this deck. It's got something about it that is just like, you'll see. You'll see. So, as always, take what resonates, leave what does not. And let's just see what she's got to say today. My dog's like, what are you doing today? It's also the week before the 4th of July, so things are taking like another turn in different directions as well. So maybe you're finally letting something go. I'm hearing like the door slamming. So for a lot of you guys, the door closed on something old and you're not going to get to open it again. Like it's closed. Don't try to. It's locked. It's slammed shut, okay? It says, I'm not going back. Ooh, okay. So I love this. Shopping to feel something, emptiness, impulse spending, and escapism. There definitely is this huge thing of Amazon. Like, I'm seeing a lot of Amazon packages being delivered, but I'm also seeing a lot of spiritual things being delivered. And remember this, when you start your own spiritual journey, it's so easy to get into everything. Like, you want to buy all the crystals, you want to buy all the tarot decks, you want to buy all the crystal jewelry. Allow that stuff to come to you. Allow that stuff to find you when the time is right. All of the jewelry that you see on me came to me when the time was right, when it was time for me to have that specific jewelry on me, right? So it came to, this is not crystal jewelry. This is just a bracelet my daughter got me for Mother's Day. Her daycare did it. So, but regardless, it's a special piece, okay? But all of the crystals that I've ever bought called to me at that time. Maybe I needed to work with rose quartz at the time. I have moldavite that was actually gifted to me. I have black tourmaline. I have shungite. But all of these things came to me when the time was right. I never went out and just bought a whole bunch at once, because that can actually overload your energy. So when we get into the spiritual thing, when we start our own spiritual journey, we tend to get carried away and want all the things. We can actually do an overhaul and have too much energy, and then it's like it's almost bouncing off the walls and doesn't know where to go, right? So, and again, I saw Amazon packages, so maybe you were up late and you were shopping for Amazon, because that's a nice outlet. Like, a lot of people like to use that when they're avoiding something, but then you get your credit card bill or you get your bank statement and you're like, crap, I spent a lot of money. So maybe you're worried about how much you're spending also. This week would be a great time to look at your own finances. Like, get into the physical realm of looking into your own finances. Where are your finances? Where are your savings? Where are you spending money? Where are you maybe spending too much? When you're spending too much money in a certain area that doesn't have to do with like electric or, that kind of stuff. This is gonna make a noise. Hold on. I always like to make sure it's up. When you're spending too much money in a certain area, that's kind of a leak. So look at that area. Like, why are you spending too much money in that area? Maybe what's going on? As long as it's not like electrical, like, you can't control certain things like your energy bills or your water bills and that kind of stuff. But if it's shopping or even spirituality, crystals, why are you spending so much? Why are you going to Target and spending $200 when you know you don't have $200 to be spending? Okay? The beautiful thing about money is she loves that relationship. She likes to be paid attention to. So when you're paying attention to her and you're working on her and you're bringing her in and you're looking at where you're leaking that energy and you're working on fixing that, she loves that. And then, yes, it's beautiful to have a savings. I love having savings. I have 3 technically savings. I have my business saving, my personal, and my daughter's savings, right? And those things are beautiful things to have. It shows me that I have a love for my money. I like to have it in a place where I know that I'm always going to be taken care of, where I know that my daughter's going to be taken care of, where I know that my business taxes are going to be taken care of, right? So those are things where those savings go into. I'm not holding on to it so strong that I am grasping it, but it's there for that love, for that safety, for that grounding. And then where are you spending that money? Where are you spending too much, right? Where do you maybe need to save your money? Where do you need to maybe spend your money? What direction does it need to go on? So this is definitely a very loaded card. Whew. And then again, can't sleep, might spiral, overthinking, emotional overload. Remember at the beginning of the video where I said there was a lot of people who just didn't sleep? The overthinking was happening? Definitely so. Our minds were racing in different directions. Whoa, I made that mistake, and we're reliving that mistake last night. Why did all these things come up last night? And then you're like, but I worked on this. Why am I going through this again? Because the last little pieces needed to be worked on. So if we're overthinking things in the middle of the night, that's sometimes our shadows coming forward to show us what we still need to work on. because it's in the middle of the night when our brain doesn't really have that control, right? Our brain is kind of in this like kind of in like a free-for-all stage. So you can go anywhere with your brain. You can truly see anything. You can almost be anything. I don't like with that in the background. I don't know why it keeps doing that. But anywho, so our brain will tend to go into overdrive when we're sleeping. I have meditation music on YouTube, and I should have turned my TV off. I know better. But anywho, here we are. So our brain likes to go into this overdrive. And if you think about it, it's dark. It's nighttime. It's in a relaxed state. And that's when it can easily start to overthink things. But look at what you're overthinking. Is it mistakes that you made? Remember, we never make mistakes. We just make choices that push us in a different direction, right? We learn. They're learning experiences. They're never, ever mistakes. And trust me, I've had to learn that, okay? But our brain will go into this overdrive at nighttime. Use that. Look at that, okay? I'm reliving this moment in time, or oh my god, I spent too much money a couple months ago, and I should have just saved it, blah, 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 blah. And it just keeps going through our brain. When you wake up, write that down. Write it down and ask yourself, why are you still overthinking this? And if it has to do with money, because that seems to be like a common theme right now, I'm seeing it on like, I see it on TikTok, I see it through clients, obviously. Where do we need to work on that? Where do we need to work on those leaks? How can we create more income? This is 2026. You don't need one source of income. You can have multiple. You can have income that just brings in money for you and you don't do anything. You can have income where you're doing something that you can love. You can have income where you're working a 9 to 5. You can have multiple forms of income, real estate. There's a lot of, one of my friends just started something and I've been watching her, but there's a lot of different ways that you can do this. TikTok, you have the shops, right? There's different ways that you can create income. So don't limit yourself into that box, by the way. And right now, with that summer solstice still burning as strong as she is, would be an opportune time for you to start another form of income. And don't make it something that's going to take a lot of time. Maybe open up an Etsy shop where you create journals and it's something that you can do on your free time, or jewelry that you can do on your free time, something that you love, something that gets you excited where you're like, I want to sit down and do that. I love to make journals. I love to sit down on Canva and create multiple journals. It's something that I love to do, and then I put them up on Canva and I sell them as a PDF, right? So look at those kinds of things. But when you're overthinking at nighttime, don't look at it as completely as something negative. Think about how that overthinking can actually help you and what it's trying to tell you, okay? So, aren't these fun? These are just cute little cards, right? Baking confidence again. Like, look at these things. They're so much fun. Anywho, let's see if we can get one more. And then we're going to move into our Wild Woman Rising. Let's just bring it up. We went into the shadows, and now we're going to come back out of the shadows, okay? Right? I told you that they call you out. Whoa! That's maybe too many. That's too much. Let's see. Let's bring it down a second. Ooh! Oh, that could give me goosebumps. Somebody's gonna watch this and be like, girl, why'd you have to call me out like that? I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. Mercury did it. Actually, I think Mercury retrograde is coming back around. Hold on. Let's see. Why are you not coming up? Why am I singing Christmas music? Yep, June 29th through July 23rd, she'll be in Cancer. Ooh. We're definitely gonna have to go into that. Not today, because I'm gonna need to sit with that and meditate with that, but she goes Cancer. So from June 29th to July 23rd, Mercury will be retrograde in Cancer. Ah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No wonder emotions are coming up. Ah! Okay. Because Mercury did it. I love this card. Mercury did it. So it says, miscommunication, cosmic excuse, retrograde blame. We're not taking accountability. We're not taking accountability. The thing about Mercury retrograde is she's going to bring it right back around. If you're not taking accountability for something, she's going to bring it. And June 29th is, my nose is itching. When is June 29th? That's next Monday. You better start taking accountability. So if there is something that happened, something maybe between somebody, maybe that you did, maybe that you just need to take accountability for it, you better, because she's gonna bring it back. Mercury retrograde's gonna bring it up for you, and there's gonna be no denying it. You will not be able to walk away from it because she's going to put it out there. So I would take accountability now. That way she doesn't do that, okay? Mercury retrograde is where the planet goes backwards. Instead of spinning forwards, she's spinning backwards. And I like that because it's almost like she's unwinding things and she's going to take us through stuff. It's when our technology goes haywire. It's when things go crazy. But she takes us into the shadows and she shows us what we need to work on, what we're still holding on to, what's not serving us anymore, what we need to let go of. So Mercury did it. I love this. Miscommunication, cosmic excuse, retrograde blame. You're going to blame it on the retrograde. Blame it on Mercury and Gatorade. That's right. Blame the stars. But the fact of the matter is, you can't blame anybody but yourself. You have to take accountability for it. When you take accountability for something that you did or maybe you were a part of, then you start to heal that. You start to heal that wound, and then you're not going to keep replaying that lesson over and over and over again. If you can't take accountability for something, then you're going to keep replaying that lesson over and over and over again. Okay? This is why Mercury comes around as many times as she does. I like it 3 times a year. She just was in February, June. I think the last one's going to be like November or something like that of the year. But she comes around so many times because she's helping us to release things. Honestly, what I have seen, and this isn't going to be any time in this generation, but further on, Mercury doesn't go retrograde anymore because she doesn't have to, right? She doesn't have to. I always wondered if there's like other planets that look at Earth and they're like, oh, Earth is going retrograde, but I don't think we do that. I don't think that's possible. I don't know, I need to study science. I need to study space more, apparently. Replaying the breakup, mental loops, guilt, over analyzing things. So, remember, Mercury likes to bring exes back also. That doesn't mean you're supposed to be that with that person. It means that there's still something there that you need to work on. So if you're still replaying that breakup in your mind, I suggest you work on healing it. Okay? Release it. Let it go. Maybe write a letter to them. Say, I love you. I appreciate you. You did all this work. If you're still missing them, maybe look at why the relationship ended in the first place. Was it their decision? Was it your decision? Was it mutual? Maybe look at what happened, right? Especially if it's their decision and you're feeling like you didn't have a say in it, maybe look at how you played into that relationship. Just because you're on a spiritual path does not always mean that you are always 100% in the right and doing right all the time. Heck, I have been part of relationships where I did something wrong and I had to go back and apologize. Just because I'm on a spiritual path doesn't mean that I get to always take the high ground, right? The song, you take the high ground and I'll take the low ground and we'll meet for thee. Anywho, just played through my head. But really and truly, when it comes to relationships, and this doesn't have to be a physical relationship, when you were like a partner relationship, this can also be something that maybe was a friendship as well. And you need to look at the parts that you played in this relationship. So if you can't let it go, look at the parts that you played in. If that person will not respond to you, then maybe it's time to look at how you can release it and let it go, okay? The best way... No. I did not like that saying. Hold on. The best way that we can begin to heal, I don't really want to say get over somebody, but move on, is by working on ourselves, by looking at how we played, what parts we played in the relationship, and how we can begin to fix that or heal that. That was a very choppy way of saying it, but I hope that made sense, because they were trying to, I didn't like the way that it was worded before. It was really almost like not in a healthy way, okay? And so I didn't really want to say it. I don't know whose guide that was, but whoever that was, you really and truly need to look at your parts that you played in the relationship and take accountability for it. All right? I'm not listen. If you've ever had a reading with me, you know I will call you out if you had a part to play in it and you needed to work on yourself. I've done it before. I'll do it again. I will call you out, okay? And that's okay, because I'm still here to help you. I'm not here to judge. Heck no. But I am here to help you, all right? So let's go ahead and let's bring it up with some Wild Woman Rising, okay? Don't go everywhere. She gets so excited. She loves being seen. Like, she's like, ooh, I get so excited. I love to be seen. Ooh. Okay, we just spent some time in the realm of the shadows. So now let's come forward, right? Anytime you're doing shadow work, you need to then bring yourself out, right? You need to bring that energy back up. So hold true to your vision. I love this. I love this one. I love how she's covered in an octopus squid. That's a squid. Or is it an octopus? I don't know. They always look the same to me. But anyways, I love how she's covered in that, and that ink is kind of running down, or the ink for like her eyeliner is kind of coming down. It's almost like she has regrets, but she's gonna hold true to it. Like, she has regrets, but she knows what she wants and she's gonna keep going for it. So no matter how many times you get knocked down, keep getting back up, right? The thing is the universe is gonna knock you down plenty of times. She's going to clear the path. She's going to clear things out for things that no longer serve you. So it means she's going to take out relationships. She's going to take people out of your life, things, places, even animals. It's sad. But she's then going to replace it with those healed versions. So it's like putting the puzzle pieces back together. No matter how many times you get knocked down, get back up. If that's your vision, if that's your goal, that's something that you want, it was put in your mind for a reason. So get back up and keep going for it. Don't give up. Don't give up. Okay? I know so many people that they were 45 before they finally reached their goals, before their dreams finally came true. I have a client that's actually nearing 50, and all of her dreams are coming true. Like every single thing she's ever wanted is coming true. She had to do so much work to get to this place though, because she had so much trauma, she had so much baggage, she had so much ancestral things that were holding her down, and she chose to be the one to work on all of that. And so she knew that, and she kept getting back up and she kept going for things, and now all of her dreams are coming true. And she doesn't think it's too late. She thinks it's the perfect time. She thinks timing is perfect. Even if she can only do this for the next 10 to 20 years, that's okay. She knows that it's going to provide for the rest of her life, for every single thing that she wants to do, the traveling, the living abundantly, all of the things. So hold true to your vision, whether it's healing, whether it's growing, whether you're going to school, whether you want to open up a business, whether you want to move up in your company that you're working at, whether it is that you want to move to a different place. Hold true to that vision. Maybe write it down. Create something on Canva that you see the picture of it every single time you open up your laptop, or you have it printed somewhere, or create a collage. Some people have moved away from those visuals. Go back to that visual. Write it down every single day until it's ingrained in here and you have no choice but to go for it, okay? Keep doing it. And with that said, remember your wings. Remember who you are. Well, that was this card. Well, we went a little ahead, but that's okay. But remember your wings. I love the visual of a phoenix. A phoenix gets burnt and she becomes nothing but ashes. And from those ashes, she rises into this most beautiful, magnificent bird, right? The same thing for you. No matter how many times you burn that phoenix, she's going to rise back up from those ashes. Do the same thing. Keep remembering your wings, who you are, the power of who you are. You are an amazing person. You have gone through a lot of things, but that doesn't mean that you are your mistakes. It doesn't mean that you need to keep yourself down and you cannot fly anymore. If flying is what you're meant to do, then get to flying, okay? Spread those wings right now. Remember your wings. I love this because if you look, the hawk is on her back, but he is also being her wings. And a hawk is a very powerful spiritual animal, very powerful spiritual ally in helping us to see things from a broader perspective, higher perspective, helping us to soar above the mountains, to see things, to dial in on our vision, right? When the hawk is ready and sees its prey, it's not going to keep flying around it. It's going to, and it makes like this sound like, we're not going to make that sound. But anywho, and it makes a sound and it goes down and it catches its prey. The same for you. Remember your wings. Dance to the beat of your own drum. Turn on the music and start dancing. We still have that powerful summer solstice energy that's going to be going for pretty much the rest of this week. So really and truly enjoy it, okay? And then I already was doing this, but remember who you are. And she is the universe. Look at her. She's legitimately the universe. Do you see what I'm saying? Right? Remember who you are. And I'm not just talking about going back into the Akashic records and opening them up and remembering who you are. Yes, you can do that. Yes, work on healing yourself. But I want you to remember who the you are, okay? Who are you? What makes you tick? What gets you excited? What's going to get you out of bed in the morning and get you going? What's going to make you happy? It's funny because lately my daughter's been saying this thing. She goes, "Mommy, are you happy?" And I go, "Yes, baby, of course." "Mommy, are you happy?" "Yes, baby. Every time I see you, I'm happy." And the other day I wasn't very happy, right? I woke up in like the worst mood possible. And every morning when I see my daughter, I don't let her know. Like, I'm like, "Good morning, beautiful." Like, full of cheers. And she looked at me and she goes, "Mommy, you're not happy." And I went, "How do you know this?" Right? Because children can call us out on that stuff. They know things, right? So what makes you happy? What gets you excited? Are you happy? If you're not, then how can you get happy? Right? Remember who you are. Remember the magnificent, powerful creature that you are. Remember that person that burns for something, a bigger desire. If your dreams are so big that people are telling you that you need to cut them down, then you need to find new people, right? Right? If your dreams are this huge thing and people are telling you that you need to make them smaller, don't do it. Don't put yourself in that box. Your dreams can be as big as you want them to be. Okay? Remember who you are. It's like I want to go, remember who you are. Like blow it open, right? Something like that, like the key. But maybe in meditation, maybe journaling, maybe taking care of yourself this week. Don't be so hard on yourself. Some self-care, some self-love. Some affirmations, setting your intentions every single day. When you have to go do the dishes, don't be like, ugh. Do it with intention. I get to do the dishes. These dishes are dirty because I made food for my family, for myself. I have food in my fridge. That's why my dishes are dirty. I am grateful for the food I have in my fridge. I'm grateful for the food that created this mess. Okay? See how I just turned that around? Do the same. Remember who you are. Most of all, I hope you have a wonderful freaking week. I hope you enjoy your week. I hope you had a wonderful summer solstice. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.